Hello there and welcome to Studio 37. This week we're going to be examining the artist Laurel Burch and her fantastic felines. I really enjoy the work of Laurel Burch, especially when you consider all the things she had to overcome to become an artist. She went from being a single mother and a teenager living on the streets of San Francisco to an artist whose work is recognized all over the world. Also, we're going to look at ideas like abstract, or making art that doesn't look real but you can tell what it is. Contrast, making sure your colors stand out against each other. And anthropomorphic. This is giving human characteristics to animals, which is something Laurel Burch did in her artwork. Rather than watch me talk about her art, let's go ahead and take a moment and examine the art of Laurel Burch. As promised, we're going to be looking at the artwork of Laurel Burch, world famous American artist, most notable for her fantastic felines, which we are going to look at in just a second. But first, I want to take a moment and review the vocabulary words discussed so far. Laurel Burch, as I just said, world famous artist, best known for her brightly colored abstract animals. We're going to be working a lot with patterns in this unit. Patterns are just repeating shapes and colors. Patterns, repeating shapes and colors. Patterns, repeating shapes and colors. We're going to look at abstract art, or art that doesn't look real but you can tell what it is, much like our pharaoh portraits, but abstract. Laurel Burch's abstract animals are quite different from anything we've seen so far this year. A nice big word for you is anthropomorphic. Anthropomorphic just means giving human features to animals. So if you think about the way that Bugs Bunny walks through the world, that is anthropomorphic. And contrast. Contrast is making sure that your colors stand out against each other. And I'm going to show you examples of really good contrast and maybe some areas in which we could grow. So if you look, this is an example of the artwork of Laurel Burch. Very, very heavily patterned, very flat colors. But if you look at the contrast, like with this bright green cat against this purple cat, creates great contrast. This bright yellow really stands out against the darker pinks and the blues next to it. Bright green next to the reds really creates good contrast. Makes for good movement throughout the piece. I think you'll notice tons and tons of patterns. Also, when I say anthropomorphic, if you look at these cats, they have human eyes. They don't have cat eyes. They also kind of have a human-shaped nose rather than the triangle nose that we're used to seeing with cats. Of course, they are very abstract, but I don't think anyone would mistake these for anything besides a cat, despite the wild colors and heavy patterns. So another example of Laurel Burch's art. Here you have patterns in the polka dots, you have patterns in the stripes, you have patterns in the repeating flowers. You have really good contrast against the dark blue and the gold right here. Really good contrast with this cat. This one, those warm colors side by side like that, we kind of lose some of this cat to the gold background. So think about that as you choose the colors that you make your art. Here's another example of her artwork, very bright colors. Heavily patterns. I see polka dot patterns, I see zigzag patterns, I see zigzag patterns, I see stripe patterns, I see patterns in the flowers. So lots of bright colors, lots of good contrast. Again, look at the black right next to the yellow, next to the white, next to the red. Really good contrast there. This purple really stands out against that bright blue. Very good contrast. This bright yellow screams, look at me, like most of Laurel Burch's art does. Of course, this is very happy art, very inspiring art made by somebody who had to overcome quite the struggles to get there. Not only did she paint cats, though, she also painted horses. You see in her horses, she still managed to use patterns. See the waves in the hair, as well as the triangles in the mane here. Also, the human eyes are given to the horse, too. She also painted dogs. Dogs, you see, this has great contrast between the background and the foreground here. See the very clear subject matter stands out very strong with the bright, warm colors against the dark, black background. Of course, patterns to frame the picture, patterns in the dogs, different patterns in the ears than in the body, waves in the face, some good blending colors there. She also painted fish. So again, same kind of ideas. Patterns, these triangles create patterns, these fins create patterns, these fins create patterns. This fish has a pattern on it. Good contrast, warm oranges and yellows against the cool blue. Good contrast with the warm oranges and yellows against the cool blue, or the dark purples against the warm orange and yellow. Good contrast with the purple and the yellow side by side. Good contrast. But she is no doubt most famous for her paintings of cats. So there is Laurel Burch standing in front of a painting she did holding her paintbrushes, very proud of the work she accomplished, as I hope we are all proud of the work that we accomplish. Also, she's wearing a necklace made by her cats, which is very interesting. Now I'm going to turn it back over to me and the dry erase board, and we are going to practice drawing a fantastic feline in the style of Laurel Burch. Alright, third grade, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope that you like her artwork as much as I do. I hope you find her story inspirational. Please take the time and watch the interview that is on our website that she did with 60 Minutes a few years ago. And now I hope we're all loosened up and ready to start drawing. So the first thing I'm going to draw are her anthropomorphic eyes. So I'm going to draw two great big human-shaped eyes in the style of Laurel Burch. Always remember, if I'm going too fast, you can stop it, you can pause it, you can rewind it. It's one of the wonderful things about making these videos that I hope you guys are enjoying. Nice, big, I'm using my whole page. I'm moving my arm and not my wrist when I draw. Things that we've been talking about all year. Fixing mistakes before I erase. And this is practice, it doesn't have to be perfect. I want you guys to do a few practice drawings. And I'm going to go ahead and give her that kind of humanish nose too that Laurel Burch can draw. So I'm about to speak more. If you want to draw with your parents, I highly encourage you guys to all draw together. Try to get nice clean lines on my artwork here for you. I'm going to go ahead and give her ears. Make it a little bit wider there. Fix my mistakes and then I erase. I'm going to get big puffy cheeks. And of course you can fill in that eyelids. Laurel Burch would definitely have patterns underneath these cats' eyes. I think I want you guys to use at least 5 patterns on your practice cats. And you don't have to draw cats. Just for this first one we're going to practice together, I thought we should do what she was most famous for. So now we have her face, we're going to give her tongue. Give you guys just a second to take a good look at that and get caught up. And then we're going to get a very, very simple body, just like Laurel Burch would. So I'm going to give her some whiskers. And I really hope you guys name your cats. And the straight lines down for the legs. A little paw here. And then I'm going to curve the back and give her one of those big curly tails that Laurel Burch would put her artwork off. And I want you to think about what kind of patterns do you want to add to your cats. Do you want to have tiger stripes, like some of the cats that we looked at? Does it need to have polka dots? You definitely want to think about the bright colors that you're going to want to use on your final artwork. But for this week, I just want you to kind of practice drawing whatever animals you choose in that very abstract style. And there is my Laurel Burch cat, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helps you understand what we're trying to do this lesson. I hope you guys have fun and take this opportunity to practice drawing whatever animals you choose. Just make sure that you're using plenty of patterns and making them abstract, simplifying them and giving them human features. Until next time, this is Mr. Shear. Go ahead and take an opportunity to take care of yourself, and if you get a chance, somebody else. Thank you.